It's 3:07. A very good afternoon to you. Now, latest estimates from the World Health Organization on suicides make very grim reading, I'm afraid. It reckons more than 800,000 people take their own life every year, which works out at one person every 40 seconds. Today is World Suicide Prevention Day, and its theme, which will run for the next 12 months, is working together to prevent suicide. One organisation in Wirral that does that anyway and looks to help men with their mental health is JourneyMEN, based in Birkenhead. Ben Kober struggled with his and went to the group and is now a member of staff. And it's a very good afternoon to you, Ben. How are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm very well indeed. Thank you.
Well, first of all, just tell me a bit about yourself and tell me your story. Why did you feel that you were having problems with your mental health?
Well, a little over 2 years ago, I was living in a tent in a train station car park in Birkenhead with a needle hanging out my arm. I literally sunk as low as it was possible to go. And I thought, right, I've got to change this. I've got to get something positive into my life, or this is going to be the end of me. So I took up sea fishing. Now, I'd done this as a kid, so I knew where to begin. And after a few weeks, I've never used since I took this hobby back up. And after a few weeks of doing that, I started taking other people. Now, in the last 2 years, I've facilitated nearly 300 outings.
Wow. That's really good. I mean, did you? I realise it might be quite difficult to talk about, but when you said there about being in the car park in the train station, did one thing set off all of this, or was it a sort of gradual process, if you like?
Well, I mean, I had cancer and I became addicted to opiates as a result, but that's just an excuse. I mean, if I'm completely honest, I enjoyed taking drugs, and that's what led down the path I went down.
And that had a severe impact, I would have thought, on your mental health, because obviously it can do, can't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As I said, I literally sank as low as it was possible to go.
And in terms of your own mental health, was managing it made easier by, starting the fishing and doing things like that then?
Oh, indeed. It's an amazingly cathartic pastime. My personal theory on this is we are all alienated in modern society to an extent, and we all still have this primordial circuitry in our brains, the fight or flight mechanism, the hunter-gatherer instinct, and these just aren't catered to in modern society, whereas the fishing does cater to the hunter-gatherer instinct. I mean, I get the same serotonin, dopamine fix of catching a fish as I used to of injecting drugs.
And it's a lot better for you, that's for sure.
Well, indeed.
And there's a lot to be said, isn't there? And I think a lot of people who maybe do exercise will agree with this. There's a lot to be said for fresh air.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's a certain percentage of my clients come down and they don't even fish. They just stand around and talk, enjoy the scenery. I mean, even if you don't catch anything, it's just a really nice day out.
Yeah. And so how did you come across JourneyMEN, and how were they able to help you?
Well, I'd approached a few organisations to do trips, and they all kind of laughed at me. And then I heard when JourneyMEN was starting, I came into the initial meeting. I was lucky enough to speak to Phil Roberts, and he said I could do some trips for them. So after facilitating a few trips for them, I saw what a important and vibrant organisation it was. And I got involved, and they offered me a job. Yeah,
and I would imagine that's been a game changer for you, hasn't it, as well?
Oh, definitely. From years of living in absolute, complete and utter poverty to having a job and having the fishing sessions paid for, the bait, the tackle, it's fantastic. JourneyMEN has really turned my life around.
And as part of your work, are you seeing an increase in people that are coming to you for help, given that 2020 has been a rotten year with COVID-19 and all the problems it's caused?
Indeed, I would say that 2 out of 3 of our new referrals are from people who have hit crisis points because of social isolation during lockdown.
Wow, that's quite a figure. And what other services do JourneyMEN offer for men with mental health issues?
So we've got in-house counsellors. I mean, if you want to see a counsellor on the NHS, it can take up to 6 months, whereas we generally get you in within 24 to 48 hours. We've got a very experienced in-house counsellor, Mr. Peter Davis, who was remarkably trained and experienced in suicidal ideation. He's your man, he's excellent, Pete. So we've got counselling, we've got the walk and talk on a Wednesday, and we have counsellors on that, so if a guy's reaching crisis points, they can speak to someone then. There's the fishing trips. We've got canal boats up in Nantwich and one on the Norfolk Broads that the lads go to. I've actually just submitted a application today to buy some metal detectors so we can all go out on the beach and do some metal detecting. We've got upcoming walking groups where we're going to be going to Wales and doing a spot of hill walking and whatnot. We're still very much in our infancy because we've only been going since March, but it's a really exciting time for us and it's really starting to take off.
Yeah, sounds like it. And just finally, because you're better positioned than most to be able to give this advice, what would you say to anyone, men out there who are listening, who feel down or worse than that, are possibly feeling suicidal? What would you say to them?
Don't suffer alone. Give us a ring, 0151 792 9159, or you can email us at inquiries@JourneyMenCIC.com. We're here for you. That's our job. That's what we do.
And is the most important thing to just try and talk it out and not bottle it up?
Definitely. I mean, there's the traditional Laconian thing with men where they just deal with their own problems. They don't talk about it. They bottle it up. But that leads nowhere good. Just get in touch with us. We're here to help.
Nice one, Ben. Thanks very much for talking to me this afternoon.
You're very welcome.
That's Ben Kober there from JourneyMEN. And, of course, get in touch with them if you do think that they can help you. On the roads, if you're in Tarbuck Green, just be aware the lights aren't working on Cronton Road at Heighton Business Park. A couple of roadworks as well on Wallasey Bridge Road in Wallasey. There's temporary lights and electricity work at